Yeah, we'll start there. That's good. We can start. I didn't know where we wanted to start today. There's a lot to talk about.
You're in Indiana. You're in the heartland. You're the mother's milk of college basketball.
Well, we've said this over and over and over, and some people just can't grasp the fact that Brad Stevens is not leaving the NBA and the Boston Celtics for Indiana. Like, he's not going there, guys. Like, he's not leaving the Celtics, period. Yes, things aren't going swimmingly for him right now in Boston. He's struggling this year, obviously, but he's not going back to college right now. If something happens to him with the Celtics, he will be hired within 5 minutes for another NBA opening. So that's where his head's at right now. And Indiana, to me, so there's a lot of speculation out there about who will succeed Archie Miller at Indiana. One school of thought, Bob, is that they're going to go with a former player. They're going to go like a Mike Woodson or Keith Smart and surround those guys with college, recruiters. Because of Juwan Howard, I think now the narrative has started to change, and I'm not sure it should, because I think Juwan is an outlier as a former NBA player who's been successful as a college head coach. Most of them have failed. And I don't think like Mike Woodson at 62 years old, who's never coached college, is going to be able to come in and get it done.
By the way, we can't get ahead of the story. Things are going great this year,
right,
with him.
Yes.
And it doesn't mean that he's a long-term.
That's right.
It does not mean that it's 100% successful.
Right.
Unfortunately. Now, of course, he did the smart thing. He got the wise Yoda sitting next to him.
That helped.
Which you always need in those circumstances, I think. So anyway, all right, I just wonder if any names were popping up. You mentioned a couple of those IU.
I think, I don't know. Like, if you want to go Keith Smart and surround him, like, I just think Indiana fans will be happy with that for now. But if they don't win, again, winning the press conference means nothing, zero. So, like, if you're Scott Dolson, their AD, he's fairly new. To me, find a guy who, again, I thought Archie Miller was the right hire in a sense. I think he's a really good coach. I don't think he fit Indiana, Bob. And the problem was when he was hired 4 years ago. So he wanted Ohio State. He had coached as an assistant under Thad at Ohio State. And what happened was Indiana opened up, and Sean Miller, his brother, told him, you got to take it. You got to take it. You're at Dayton. You got to take it. Just like I did. I went Xavier to Arizona. You got to do it. He listened to Sean. And he didn't really want to go. And then all of a sudden, Ohio State opens 2 months later. So I think in his mind, it was always, man, like if I waited 2 more months, I could, because he doesn't like the fishbowl. He just wants to coach ball. And Indiana and Ohio State basketball are completely different.
That's foolish. That's naivete to the nth degree. You don't want fishbowl. You're going to go to a school like IU. With the history, particularly, oh my God, man, that's foolish. Oh, if that's the case.
So you got to have a guy, whoever you hire next, either, and I just don't think Indiana has a guy in the family that fits, like Keith Smart, Mike Woodson. They haven't been in college. Like, I just don't think because Juwan Howard did it, it's going to work for everybody. So I would still get a stat. Listen, they have not reached out as of recording this podcast. We're recording Thursday morning. They have not reached out to Chris Beard or Scott Drew yet, which is incredible to me, which means leads me to believe, Bob, that they already have their guy. And is it like John Beilein? Is it one of those guys I just mentioned, the former IU Stars? Is it another coach currently coaching in the NCAA tournament that they're waiting to kind of finalize things with? We'll get more info, but that's kind of where we stand with Indiana right now.
Okay. All right. So you're in Indiana. You're heading up to Mackey Arena, where Tom Izzo was kiddingly saying that he thinks that Matt Painter should invite him over for brunch since he beat up on him a couple this year in our house. I didn't know this thing about. That's one of they're not on my 201 list.
You've never been to Mackey?
I've never been to a game there.
Oh my goodness!
I was in West Lafayette once. We drove. We saw the campus, which I thought was better than people say. It has a.
I've never seen the sun.
They always put Purdue down, right?
Because the sun has never been out. I've never been in West Lafayette and seen the sun.
We were there in the summer, and I didn't think it was so horrible.
Yeah, it's probably not in the summer.
No, well, it looked fine to me. But anyway, people, I know it doesn't have the greatest reputation among Big Ten venues. I
It's a
understand.
great venue. Their fans.
I mean, the camp.
Right.